Ladies and gentlemen, Rubric Universe family, and everybody that watches the show, finally, not The Rock, Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, is the new Universal Champion. After Crown Jewel, the new champion that should have been the champion at Hell in a Cell finally got his victory, and the Fiend is finally the WWE Universal Champion. So this picture that you guys are enjoying right there on the screen is our introduction for the day. The greatest thing that could happen in Crown Jewel finally took place.
Ada.
How's it going, everybody? Family, right here. We have a happy Halloween for all of you. Hope you guys are doing trick or treat. Hopefully, the ones that have kids or the ones that are kids that sees the show are getting a lot of candy. We have Macho Man Randy Savage in the house. So give us a ooh yeah, and you guys have Rey Mysterio. We welcome you to our show. We want to say thank you once again for supporting the show. To all of you that watches, that are subscribing, that follow us on Facebook, on YouTube, and all one of our social platforms. And we want you to let you know that we have a AEW Dynamite review done by not the Macho Man Randy Savage, but for John Paul Eck. We want to shout out our great partner in crime, Ryan Weber. He did a wonderful review of Monday Night Raw that is also on the channel available for you guys to watch. But we're gonna focus right now on talking about Crown Jewel. How you doing, Macho Man?
Oh, not too bad. Ready to. Well, I was definitely more excited to talk about Dynamite this morning than Crown Jewel, but it's Halloween and it's close to the weekend, so I'm excited.
I'm excited for a new weekend. We're going to be recording more. We have a lot of content for you guys. So we have Crown Jewel today for this time. And overall, I want to say that like the pay-per-view was a little bit better than what I actually thought it was going to be. What would you think, Jean Paul?
I mean, for me, it wasn't any better than any other of these Saudi shows, in my opinion. The main event was good. In the open, we talked about how the Fiend is finally the champion, so they corrected that wrong. To me, it doesn't matter if they did it here or like in the United States, or if they did it in Saudi Arabia or wherever they did it, because you already screwed up the story, so they just needed to rectify it immediately. And this was the most recent pay-per-view after Hell in a Cell, or not a pay-per-view, but event, whatever.
It is a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
It's a mega show. It's in Saudi Arabia. It took place today.
So to me, that kind of, and it was a good match between those two, I thought. So that was good, but everything else in the show was mediocre to bad. So
yeah, I was actually expecting something a lot worse than what I actually got. So we can start reviewing, and the best way to start is from where? From the beginning.
Yep.
So show starts with my padrino, Cain Velasquez, and Brock Lesnar. No. Rey Mysterio going side by side with Cain Velasquez against Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship. This match for me, actually, I will tell you that they found the best way out of that. I was actually waiting for something really worse than what we actually got. We got a short and sweet, 4 minutes, Kimura lock, match is over, Cain Velasquez stabs out. And at least, for me, if you're like a Rey Mysterio fan, I'm not a huge Rey Mysterio fan. I'm just like, I'm happy to be wearing this because it fits the situation. But I'm more excited to see that rivalry going on. Introductions, a lot of kicks took place during the match. I didn't see any holds.
No, it was definitely more like,
so your thoughts on that match, Mr.
It was definitely more like a shoot fight. They were going in there throwing punches and kicks, and Velasquez had the advantage pretty much the whole match. Brock would get backed into a corner, and then he'd reverse it, put Velasquez in the corner, but then he would kick right out. And then they fought for, like you said, 3, 4, 5 minutes max, and then He tripped him up in the knee. I don't know if he tripped him or if he hit his knee or he did something, and then the bad knee, and then he was able to get the Kimura lock on, and it was done. I was surprised he tapped out so quick. Because like we always talk about in the old days when they would have the hold on these guys for 30 seconds, a minute, and they'd be struggling in it seemed like they just rapid fired it. But I can almost, like you said, it's good, and I can almost justify it because he was hurt going into this match. They made that information available to everybody. Everybody knew he was hurt. He was recovering, so he wasn't 100%. So then this is a good way to maybe kind of keep the feud going down the line. He can come back and say, hey, I wasn't 100%. And then with the attack after by Rey Mysterio after the match, also kept the feud going, which was probably my favorite part of the match.
I want to agree with you. And to me, the best part is when actually I start to beat up the crap out of Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
Or when Ray did it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I will think that the feud's going to keep going until WrestleMania. And I want to tell you, like, it would have been unfair for Cain Velasquez to be the WWE champion just because it's like putting like a WWE championship in somebody that is not even a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
He's a fighter, but not a wrestler. So that's why I feel that it wasn't fair to do that right away. Even like Michael Cole said that while he was calling the match, he said, "Oh, it's the first time that somebody's debut is on a WWE championship match."
Yeah, no, I agree. That's why, like, it was almost obvious that Velasquez wasn't going to win, but you never know with WWE. They like to pull a swerve. They like to surprise you, but I didn't think the match was going to be this quick, but the way they presented it, I'm glad it was, because I don't know if you could have drug this out, 10, 11, 12 minutes with these guys just throwing punches and kicks. Like you said, there was no holds. There was no suplexes, nothing of that. He did hit an F5. Rey Mysterio came in with the chair, and he knocked that out, and he threw Rey out of the ring, and then he F5 Velasquez on the chair, but then Mysterio came back in and started beating the piss out of him with another chair, and that part is when I popped. I was like, yes, get him, get him, get him. And then Brock rolls out of the ring, and Heyman's like, no, it ain't worth it. Like, we got to get out.
Like, I feel that, like, the outtake of everybody or the outcome of or like what everybody's really waiting for or wanting is going to be Rey Mysterio against Brock Lesnar. Because that to me seems more like a legit feud rather than Cain Velasquez. And the fact, like you said, I was getting like very, I don't want to say worried, not even concerned, but I was like, really, is this going to be just punches and kicks? Yeah. But thankfully, they found a way to like make the match like end quick. And I mean, the Kimura lock, like he tap out, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see where the feud keeps going, but there's definitely going to be a second chapter to this rivalry. So we're going to go back. We're going to go to the next match that was the tag team turmoil to crown the best tag team in the world. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts about this? At the end of the day, something that we said it was supposed to happen did not take place. And that was the OC getting the crown, and they are the best tag team in the world. I didn't like that. I think that like either one of the champions should have been crowned as that. But John Paul or Macho Man, you tell us what are your thoughts about that.
So you had Ziggler and Rude. They were out, and they knocked out the Lucha House Party. No one was surprised by that, I think. Even though the Lucha House Party, with them actually appearing in the draft, I thought, oh, maybe they'll, is there going to be a push for them? Are they going to be a little more relevant? Sin Cara, he has his stuff, but that's not going anywhere. But are they going to push the Lucha House Party? It doesn't look like it. They were eliminated. And then Ziggler and Rude also defeated Zack Ryder, Kurt Hawkins. Again, no one is surprised by that. Then Heavy Machinery defeat Ziggler and Rude. Then you had the New Day come out, and they defeated Heavy Machinery. And the New Day defeats the B Team. And then you had the New Day and the Revival. And then the Revival beats the New Day. And then it goes to the OC and the Revival. And I think everybody wanted to see it come down to the Revival and the Viking Raiders.
It should have been that.
And it should have been that.
Just that because both of them were the champions for both brands.
What I would have liked to see is something that you have. If you didn't want to have one of your tag teams win, the first two teams should have been the tag team champions. And then you could have had the Viking Raiders beat the Revival. Then you have the Viking Raiders run through every single other team, and they're exhausted. They're beat up. They were in this since the first team. Then you have the OC come out, and maybe even have Styles come out, whack one of them with a chair behind the ref's back, do something, and he quick ducks into the crowd, and then that's how they win. I didn't want it like they hit the Magic Killer, clean, done, Viking Raiders lose. I didn't like that, because you squashed the OC and you jobbed them out after they dropped the tag titles a couple weeks ago. But now they're the best.
And then they win this, yeah. So.
That like to win it clean too. Like I understand they were the last team, or just one of the last teams to come out, but the order, it just didn't make sense. They got the job teams out of the way, and they just loaded the end with the heavy hitters. But
still, it didn't make any sense because we called it this for weeks. There's a video also in our channel that expresses like the preview of Crown Jewel, and we said, please, can we have the tag champions of either brand be the ones that win this whole thing, and they become the best tag team in the world? Because once again, Brandon, John Paul, Macho Man, whoever you're gonna call it, you find a name for him. We said like WWE only acknowledge their own universe.
Mm-hmm.
They don't acknowledge any other promotion, and when it comes to tag teams, so to me is a really lame way to make the OC look cool again.
Yeah.
Because what's gonna happen? 2 weeks down the line, the OC is gonna start getting losses again, and then what happens?
Mm-hmm.
This whole thing.
The only thing I can think is they did this match to then the OC and the Viking Raiders are going to be maybe a match at Survivor Series.
Series, yeah.
But the Viking Raiders are going to go over. I can't see them dropping the belts. But anyway, moving on.
Moving on. We have Mansoor against Cesaro. Talk about that. To me, that match was the best match of the night.
I mean, both of these guys, if you're just going from the pure technical aspect and all that stuff, both of these guys are definitely great. Mansoor, I don't want to hate on him because he beat Cesaro, and we all know how much I love Cesaro, but he was obviously going to win. He's from Saudi Arabia, and he was going to win. And I can't just say like, it's like a Braun Strowman case where the guy sucks and he gets pushed. Mansoor is good.
Mansoor
can't take anything away. Like the kid is good.
He's really good.
He was on NXT. I would want to see him more on NXT.
He's very good. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like this match completely stole the show.
Yeah, I don't care about Cesaro doing the job. And I mean, these guys were hitting each other, especially Cesaro. He always lays in those punches. Mansoor stood in there, and he does a good sell job. Mansoor, he could be a wrestler in the 80s. Like his sell job, his like eyes, and he does like the Hogan, like the finger point when he's getting like, is he gonna tap out?
He's hulking up and going, getting his momentum back and everything.
Like he's real like expressive with his, his physical like emotions and stuff. So I like him. I think he has a lot of upside. The thing that bothered me is why is Cesaro coming out wearing like black skinny jeans?
That's the one thing that like he's changing his attire, and I feel that does really compliment him. I feel that like he needs to just go back to the trunks. I mean, he's never been the kind of guy. I mean, sometimes he uses tape. I feel that sometimes he buries what he uses, but his theme song, even I don't like it.
Yeah.
To me, he needs a better theme song, and that goes to WWE, the music department. Either get Jim Johnston again. He used to be the first guy to create all this memorable and great theme songs, or the CFO's back. I don't know what happened, but like
either that, or I don't know how expensive this is for each time you play the song, but I would like if WWE could do deals with like you tell a wrestler, hey, what's your like what do you want to be your theme music? And then they go out and they pick a rock song, or they pick some song that's current, and WWE works out a deal with that artist or that record label or whatever, and have actual songs be people's themes. Some wrestlers have actual musicians make their themes. That's not just like WWE's in-house people making.
That's what they used to do before. Yeah. They used to get like, for example, like Edge had like Alter Bridge.
Yeah.
Alter Bridge, like
Io Shirai, she has Poppy now.
Yeah, she has Poppy now. Yeah. And that's cool. Like for example, Evolution had Motorhead.
Yeah, Triple H
did Motorhead like with like 3 songs. The Undertaker used to go to American Badass, but Key Rock. They
That's what I
rolled with
mean.
Limp Bizkit.
So that would be something nice to go. But like you said, this match was definitely the best if you're looking for like a pure wrestling standpoint aspect. It was a good match. Mansoor for the pinfall, he hit a beautiful moonsault, I thought. And like I said, you knew he was going to get the win going into this, so I wasn't like annoyed or like, oh, I can't believe they gave him the win. You could see it coming. And like you said, it was a good match. It did what it needed to do. I felt for
Oh yeah,
what.
it was absolutely great. Cesaro hit a lot of great moves. Superman, superplex. I'm sorry, not
Mm,
Superman. Superplexes. Mansoor did a tornado DDT that was beautiful. A lot of near falls and everything. I feel that match stole the show, and of course we knew that Mansoor was going to win because he's in his home country, homeboy. Everybody's welcome him. That was the
mhm.
loudest pop.
Oh yeah,
So
the crowd was hot for
Cesaro
him,
does
which
the
was
job
nice.
of the jobber, unfortunately, but we know that like as quality for wrestler, talent, skill, he's a top guy, a top
Mm.
notch guy. So unfortunately, he had to get the pin this time, and we're gonna move forward to the next match, which it is something that it was really remarkable, something that is breakthrough, unheard of. It was the first match of two women in Saudi Arabia, and it was Natalia and Lacey Evans, the first time they're allowed to wrestle. What are your thoughts about that? Were you excited?
Um,
Were you not excited?
I wasn't like when they showed the match and they were like for the first time ever. I was surprised. I didn't think that this was going to happen so soon. I know Triple H and Stephanie, they said within this 10-year deal, I believe Vince said it too, like within this 10-year deal that they have with Saudi Arabia, they want to have women over there. And I think this is year 2 or 3, and they already got that accomplished. So that was cool. But will this change the country? That's another thing, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. I would have liked to see maybe like Bailey and Sasha because I think they would have put on a better match. But Natalia, she's been in the company so long, I feel she definitely deserves. That would have been cool to see something like Natalia and Mickey James, two veterans in the business. I don't know if Mickey's still hurt or what the story is, but I feel like Lacey Evans might have. I mean, whatever you have your opinion about her, if she's pushed because she's blonde and this and that, but I don't know. I just felt like it should have been different women in this match. It wasn't anything spectacular. And I mean, they did the fireworks and all this other stuff at the end, which was nice, maybe a little over the top. But like I said, it was a monumental moment, step in the right direction. But you
Yeah,
know,
I agree with you. First of all, I will tell you the one reason that it was Natalia and Lacey Evans. They flew these women because they were not for sure if they were gonna let the women wrestle. So they were like, let's take these two girls. If they don't have to wrestle, okay, whatever. We flew these women. We don't have to do much because last time
yeah,
they did this, they flew Alexa Bliss and they
yeah,
didn't let him wrestle. So I feel that like this time the Saudis agreed, and okay, they had the match. Of course, they had to wear not their normal wrestling gears because, of course, the Saudi Arabia different culture, and for that reason they have to be all covered up. I mean, it
mm,
is a great moment for the women. I mean, Natalia and Lacey Evans become historic women because they were able to be in the first match that the women fought in Saudi Arabia, but are we in the knowledge that the rules and the way that those people live are going to change? I don't think
yeah.
so.
That's what I mean. I mean, it's
I
definitely a
feel
step
that
in the
after
right
that,
direction, but how big of a step?
yeah, how big of a step it is, and
And
more,
how many more steps are going to happen after this one?
and yeah, some people might say, okay, well, but you're taking it away. Yeah, it was a great moment, but I even read reviews and news that Natalia actually people were throwing bottles of water at her. So you can tell that, like in the end, it is a great moment, and of course, WWE is going to maximize to the
Mm,
most of their capability to just say, "Hey, this is what we're doing. This is like we're breaking through even barriers of culture."
mm,
But when it comes to like the really implications of this situation, I feel that it's not like a breakthrough moment. It's just a match, and at the end, Natalia wins, but like she wins for nothing. They
yeah,
fought over nothing. The situation is still the same. But yeah, there were fireworks. I mean, it's another feel good moment. That's all I have to
yeah,
say. Lacey Evans, yeah, like however you feel about her, it doesn't matter. I mean, she's a woman that needs a lot of improvement, but little by little she's getting there. And again, the gimmick that she has is semi decent, I will say. The only thing, her finisher is really weak, the
Oh
women's
yeah.
side and everything. But okay, that's what they had to offer for us, so we're just talking about it. So now, Road Break family, we have the next match in the what the crown jewel took place. We have AJ Styles and Humberto Carrillo. Humberto Carrillo, how you will say it if you were Hispanic or anything like that. He won the pre-show, the Battle Royal, 20 men over the top, and he got his championship match with AJ Styles. And to me, it was a match that it was very similar to what took place on Monday Night Raw. I mean,
The,
Humberto Carrillo is an excellent cruiserweight. He has a lot of skill, talent, high flying moves. The guy is going to be a world champion in the near future. And putting with somebody with AJ Styles is, you're putting like two great wrestlers together, and magic happens like this.
mhm.
So to me, AJ Styles retained at the end. I feel that like they need somebody like AJ Styles to carry the United States Championship yet, and it's too soon to put the title on Carrillo. So
Yeah.
your thoughts on that?
I mean, I agree. Like you said, I guess this was just to keep the feud going. You almost knew that with everything that was going on with Humberto and Styles, and then this 20-man battle royal, the winner was going to face Styles. You almost knew it was going to be Humberto going into it, and then he does win. And like you said, this match, it wasn't anything greater than they did on Monday Night Raw. Still a good match, but Styles retains. That's the right way to go. And is this going to continue their feud? Do we want to see the feud continue? I don't know. I feel like if they're going to continue the feud, they got to add some new element to spice it up. Because now he won on Monday Night Raw, correct?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
He wins
Yeah.
in both. He won in both
Yeah.
situations.
So now, so I feel like at this point, it's almost over because he won he won clean, and so where do you go from here? But
yeah,
I mean, it was
a
still a
lot
good
of
match,
that.
and like I agree with what you said about Humberto. He's has so much talent and everything else. I don't see why he shouldn't be a champion, but this first feud didn't really get him over. They kept saying he was over, he was over. His match with Seth Rollins was good, but the crowd wasn't into it, and then he loses to Styles twice. So we'll see where they go from here.
We'll see where they go from here. I think both matches have been really good. Of course,
Mhm.
he lost clean both times. This time, a lot of high flying moves, and at the end, AJ Styles hits the phenomenal forearm, and 1, 2, 3. AJ Styles remains U.S. champion. Hopefully, they spice it up, like you said. They put another elements because if they keep making this match, it's gonna be another Cedric Alexander against
Yeah,
AJ Styles. So, and what happened with Cedric Alexander since? We haven't seen him.
nothing. Yep,
So
he was
that's
in the
why
battle
I don't
royal
want
and nothing.
Humberto Carrillo burned up or
Hmm.
burned down. Well, we're
Yeah.
gonna talk about burn down in a little bit. So now let's talk about the first main event of this pay per view: Tyson Fury against Braun Strowman. What are your thoughts about that match? Was it something that you thought it was gonna be? Was it better? Was it worse? Your
It
thoughts?
honestly, it was what I thought it was going to be. I had no excitement going into it. I was more just I wanted to see what they were going to do. It was like a car wreck. It's awful, but you can't look away, and that's pretty much what this was. So they come out and they go a little back and forth. Nothing like it's nothing exciting. You're not going to see any arm drags, any wrestling moves. Nobody's going to get suplexed, anything like that. Drop toe hold, but like when they showed Tyson Fury's punches, I don't know if he can't just lay up on his punch. He doesn't throw a legit boxing punch. He punches like he's like shadow boxing or something. Like he's like hitting like a peanut bag or like a
Yeah,
he doesn't just throw your normal boxing punch, but just lay up. You don't need to knock the dude's block off. Like I don't understand why like it had to change so much, and because it looks so fake. And Braun Strowman, he did his famous run around the ring, but he I don't know if it's the same as last year, if it was like 200 degrees in the building, but he was gassed. He couldn't even run. He was like
yeah,
gingerly jogging around the ring, and he did this 3 times.
yeah.
Like the first, and I don't even think the first time he On Monday Night Raw, you see him flying or smack, whatever. Like, he goes. Now he's just like, it was a jog. So I don't know. Like, nobody really seemed into the match, and then it ended on a count out, which I thought Tyson Fury was just going to go over clean, knock him out.
Yeah.
But I mean, this way it kind of keeps Braun. They always keep him in like this low main event, like high end of the mid card guys.
Like a glorified main eventer.
Yeah,
like a glorified main event. There you go. That's I give you a new catch, a new nickname for Braun Strowman. Glorified main eventer.
Yeah, he's like they put him up there, but he loses a lot too. Like he never won a championship. Nothing. I mean, the tag team, but does that even count? No. Seth Rollins and Nicholas as his partners. No, that doesn't count. It's just, I don't know. The match I didn't think was good, but they wanted to get Tyson Fury. I don't know what you would expect from him with only a few weeks of build and a few weeks of training. But
I will tell you, like I saw a few little things. For example, like he did like a big boot. Some things you can see he has some kind of a coordination when it comes to wrestling. When he did the hook up the leg. But like I always thought that they were gonna make it like as sure as Lesnar and Cain Velasquez, because I thought it was gonna hear like a punch and it would be a knockout. It would have been over. But actually, to end in a countdown, and to me that really said well, just based on the fact that like you keep the feud going, and there was no reason to keep the feud going.
That's what I mean. It should have been a one-off. I don't, because Tyson.
And the fact that also.
Yeah, he's a fight in February, I believe, so he's going to have to start training for that soon.
Yeah, and also Strowman did the power slam.
Yeah, afterwards.
So I'm like, he's getting really often, so that means you're not giving anybody the upper hand.
Yeah, but when he power slammed him...
one deal, and should have been over, so you don't need to prolong this.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure when he power... Oh, go ahead. I can say I'm pretty sure when he power slammed him, Strowman gets out of the ring, and then Tyson Fury pops right back up. Like he didn't even sell the power slam.
He didn't sell it that well. The one thing I will say really was funny is when he stood up like the Undertaker or Cain. That was really nice. I mean, that's a way to pay some, tribute, pay some respect to what the Undertaker and Cain's done for the wrestling industry. But I don't really like when feuds like this that don't really make too much sense keep going. So for that reason, I feel that like it should have been Tyson Fury going over, especially if he has a match, like a legit fight in February. So you don't need to see Tyson Fury anymore. So, and the fact also that Strowman got a lot of offense on him, it makes him look kind of weak when it comes to a real fight. But we'll see. We'll see where this kid takes, or where they take this from what it is right now. I really didn't enjoy it just because to me Strowman, like I said, is a glorified main eventer. Is a gimmick. Is always the same 3 moves running around, the same shtick. So I'm really kind of tired of it. But this is what took place. We're just really reviewing, so we're gonna keep going with the show, and we have a 5-man tag elimination.
One pin to a fall, no elimination.
Oh yes, it was one.
They made the match worse than it should have been. It
should have been elimination then. It should have been elimination.
But hopefully they're saving that for
versus Team Flair. So you take us through, please.
This match, you had all these interlocking storylines. There was the Rusev, Bobby Lashley, Ali, and Randy Orton, and then you had Ricochet and McIntyre.
Shorty Cable.
Yeah, and I liked and Baron Corbin. I liked all these interlocking kind of feuds, but nothing was really played up here too much. There was this, a moment where Lashley and Rusev locked up. Lashley got the upper hand. There was a moment where McIntyre and Ricochet had some back and forth again. At one point in the match towards the end, Randy Orton goes to hit the RKO on Ali, and he counters it by doing the handstand again. So it was a lot of stuff that we've seen in all these previous matches, just kind of mashed into one match. And it didn't, no feuds were ended, or there was no, blow off, anything in this 5 or 10-man tag match. The one thing I didn't like was the ending. I believe Roman's going for a Superman punch. Randy Orton counters it into an RKO. Should have been done. Kick out. That's where I was like, okay, who kicked out of the RKO like that? I believe Styles might
have done it.
Might have at Mania when they had their match. I think he might have kicked out from one that was like out of nowhere, boom, and then immediately into a cover. It wasn't like Randy Orton was stunned and it took him, 5 seconds to make the pin. It was RKO, cover, 2 count. I was like, okay. Then
yeah, get going.
But then Randy Orton also ate the pin from Roman. Because there was the back and forth where I said Ali, he counters the RKO, and then Ricochet does a springboard. He does a splash onto Randy Orton, and then Roman gets set up for the spear. 1, 2, 3, because everybody else tackles all the other guys on the outside. And then that's it. So Randy Orton gets his finisher. Roman goes over his finisher, and he pins Randy.
That's my thing. Is like right away we're gonna narrate again with like the Roman initiative, the Roman agenda, and I don't really understand why. Like you said, it bothers me the fact that he kicked out of the RKO.
Yeah,
very few people have done it.
Also, one thing to what you said about the Roman agenda, the Roman push, and all that to end the match. All of Team Hogan was on the ramp, all holding hands, arms up in the air. Where was the big dog? He was in the ring on the turnbuckle, raising his arm.
Exactly.
Why couldn't they all have been in the ring doing that? Or why couldn't Roman have went to the outside? And then when Roman does come out of the ring, they're all hugging him and patting him. Hogan's hugging him like, oh, thanks, brother. All this other bullshit. And it's like, even though it was a 5-man team, if it wasn't for Ali countering the RKO and Ricochet hitting the splash, the spear might not have...
So that's to me when Roman gets actually annoying, and that's why so many people boo the guy. It's because there is this agenda that he always has to look good. If the guy would be like a normal guy, he wouldn't stand out that much. But like the way that he stands out is not natural. It's not the guys saying, "Yeah, thanks to you, we won." It's like more like you should be with us, and we will be good. So that's for me is like why they should never have Roman in this kind of like situations, because once again the hatred towards him is going to come back.
And this is real conspiracy theory. But Randy Orton posting all that stuff about the Elite and all this other AEW, and he tagged the Revival and all this stuff about it's only so many more months or whatever until we like go to AEW or become Elite, his cryptic message. Could this have been punishment, maybe?
Maybe, but I don't
need to go into it.
I mean, Randy Orton is a guy, he's a company guy. He's been for the company for more than 10 years, 12, 15 years, and so I feel that he knows how to make business. If he's told, hey, you're gonna get the pin from Roman, whatever, he's gonna do it. He's a 13-time world champion. He's had his runs and everything. I don't think he's there to to put people over, to have great matches. He's just there, to get his paycheck. He can do anything. The fact that he lost to Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship to me tells me that Randy does not want to do anything great in his career anymore.
Yeah, I want to ask you something. I personally think he's going to leave. If you ask me what I think is going to happen, I think he'll wrestle for AEW at some point. It might not be when his contract his current contract's up, but I think at some point you're going to see it. Because he's still in incredible shape, and I think going to another promotion, it's almost like a refresher. Not like he'll have another 10, 15-year career there, but when you go to someplace new, it's a breath of fresh air. Even if you were happy with your previous employment, it's still a change of scenery, and you kind of give you some new life. And maybe if he only does wrestle for three matches, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks wrestle some guys there, Hangman Page, Neville or Pac, and then after that, any of those guys. And then after he's done wrestled them, then he can be like, all right, I'm done. Pentagon,
and all those guys. I want to ask you something real quick. Roman Reigns said in the press conference before Crown Jewel, he said, I'm the best wrestler of my generation. True, false, full of crap? False. Your thoughts?
False. Full of crap. I said in the AEW review that Kenny Omega is the best in the world. I mean, it's just like Kenny Omega. Everything about him is legit. If Kenny Omega wants to cut a promo, a serious promo, and get you hyped, he'll do it. His moves and his legitness in the ring speaks for itself. And every promotion he's went to, he's been top guy. Roman's only the big dog in one promotion. Roman couldn't go to New Japan and all these other promotions and be the number one guy because he's not good enough. So, for him to say that, I mean, that's the political thing. That's like Seth Rollins comes out and says he's the best. Because even though Roman's not a champion, he's the number one, number two, at least top three guy in WWE. So he's going to say that. I'm not surprised he said it, but he's clearly wrong, and he knows he's wrong too. But also, if you're a top guy, you should think that. You should think you're the best. Because if you don't, what the heck? What's wrong with you? Why would you admit someone's better than you? At least to the public.
I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. I think that's what they made us believe that Roman is like the greatest wrestler of our generation, of our time. I really disagree to that statement. There's Kenny Omega, there's Kazuchika Okada, there's even I want to say Jericho, but the Young Bucks are extremely good. AJ Styles is extremely good. There's so many wrestlers.
Yeah, Jericho, if he's great now in the sense that but obviously Jericho 10, 15 years ago was better in the ring than Jericho is now, but he still just does stuff on the mic and just getting people over and all this other stuff. But I agree with everything you're saying. Roman.
Yeah, so no, that statement goes absolutely wrong. So we're gonna speed it up because we have to just keep talking about Crown Jewel. So finally, the main event, Falls Count Anywhere match, Seth Rollins against the Fiend Bray Wyatt. We have a new champion. Finally, they rectify. You use the right term, Mr. Leek, Macho Man. Rectify the big mistake they did at Hell in a Cell. And the Fiend is the champion. It was a very, very good match. Although the same spots were Seth Rollins doing the curb stomp 4 or 5 times. I really enjoyed the spot when Bray Wyatt or the Fiend went over down the electric cables and everything that they had.
Oh yeah, that was a cool spot towards the end.
Yeah, and everything there was some electricity. There was some sparks. He got super kick and everything. The one thing, do you like the fact that every time the Fiend has a match, they use the red line?
I was going to ask you that. No, I don't. I think for Hell in a Cell it was something cool. I don't know. I kind of like it, but it's too dark. It almost, you kind of can't see what's going on. You can clearly see everything. Oh, he's getting a table, he's getting a chair, this and that. But it's a little too dark. I think they should lighten it a little bit, or maybe use not such a dark red, or maybe do something. Make it a little bit lighter.
Doesn't need any of those enhancements, if you want to call it enhancance. To me, have the match with the regular lighting.
Yeah, that's what I think. But if they're really,
we all know the Fiend has a Undertaker aura, a dark person from the dark side, somebody that doesn't really fits in the regular society, whatever you want to call it. But I feel that it's necessary for us to have regular lighting so we can enjoy the match even better. Because to me, we're seeing two shadows. We know who the Fiend is, we know who Seth Rollins is, but if this is going to happen every single match, I feel that the idea kind of for Hell in a Cell was cool, and you know what, it matched because the cell was red. So it was cool that they used red and everything, but now what's the point of doing this? Is they use red because the Universal Championship is red?
Yeah, I don't know.
Did you enjoy the match at least?
It was definitely good. I thought this match and the Mansoor Cesaro match were definitely the two best matches I felt of this show. There was I like the spot where Seth, he sets up 2 tables on top of each other, and then Wyatt's on the top turnbuckle, and Seth is going to superplex him in the ring, and Wyatt's like, no, I don't think so, and he just shoves Seth Rollins to the side, and he breaks through these tables. And then there was another point where the Fiend, he's kicking on Rollins and stomping him into the barricade. He lifts up the protective pad on the ground, and it's this, Michael Cole's selling it as it's some steel grate or something underneath the padding. And then Rollins gets up, stomps him, covers him, ref 1 immediate kick out. That's what I like. I like how the Fiend, he just no sells Rollins' offense.
But see, that's what they should have done from the whole, from
Well, yeah,
throughout Hell in Cell and
they
everything. The Fiend
definitely,
is
they
like
screwed up.
superhuman. He's like, or like this creature, like that is not human, and that's why he's not supposed to be kicking out of all these moves.
Mm-hmm.
Or he's
Yeah,
supposed to just be like unstoppable.
yeah, and that's what I like. They definitely portrayed that in this match. I don't know why you just didn't do all this in Hell in the Cell. They could have had it where these guys broke to the outside, fought through, the crowd and did whatever, and he could have got kicked off the stage into the production boxes. You could have done all this in Hell in the Cell, took it back in the cell, and Sister Abigail,
So yeah, I mean, well, he
whatever
came
done.
out,
Yeah.
mandible claw, that was extremely good. Pin 1, 2, 3. We have a new Universal Champion. Two reasons why they did that. First of all, main one, rectify whatever was wrong from Hell in a Cell.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody gave so much backlash. People wanted refunds. They did not want to leave the building, and also because to cover Seth Rollins from all this bad press that he's been having lately. Jim Ross comments, I wish that one day you will be as over as your girlfriend. Everybody in social media despise Seth Rollins. Hashtag Seth Rollins is not cool. I feel that that's why they took away finally the championship, because they gave the crowd what the crowd wanted, and is the Fiend as the champion.
Yeah,
Where do they go from here? We don't know yet.
Yeah, they definitely need to rebrand him to the blonde streak in the hair Seth Rollins, where he was a heel, he was an asshole, and he was he's a prick. He would turn on anybody just to be the guy, instead of this ass kissing, just, oh, I want to be Mr. Good Guy, Mr. Goody Two Shoes, everybody's friend. He's doing the Hulk pose, and he's every city they go to. Oh, I'm so grateful to be in St. Louis or Cleveland. He's doing the cheap city
he
pop.
He has to stop the cheap pop. He stopped
he just became so annoying. He definitely needs to go heel, and I think that would be cool if he gets traded to SmackDown. But then with the whole couples thing, what would that do for Becky Lynch? I don't know. Maybe she drops the title to Asuka or Kairi Sane, because there's rumors that the two of them might feud with Becky Lynch. We don't know what's going to happen. All we can do is watch and see.
And I just want to conclude this review before asking you a question. If the rumors are truth, and also the commercials are truth, Survivor Series is going to be Raw against SmackDown, and for the first time ever, NXT. So that means that we're going to have a triple threat match. Imagine this. Hear this. The Fiend against Brock Lesnar and against Adam Cole.
I mean,
what are your thoughts about that?
If that's the case and that match is being booked by main roster, goodbye, Adam Cole. Goodbye. It's nice knowing you.
Yeah, but hopefully Adam Cole shows all his greatness, why he's such an amazing performer.
This is what I would like to see. I would like to see Adam Cole, maybe he's going for the finisher, and he's going to lay out Lesnar. Lesnar gets him in the F5, and he's about to hit the F5. Fiend comes up, mandible claw on Lesnar, and done. So, and then I don't know.
That will be an extremely different.
The Fiend is your number one champion.
Exactly, and that will be an extremely different Survivor Series, and a Survivor Series that's actually going to get us what? The word that I always call to people. Involved. Because as fans, we want to be involved in these storylines. We want to be excited about what's to come. And to me, at least, I'm intrigued, because I want to know where is this going to take place with the Survivor Series, if they're really going to book, each champion in a triple threat match. So we'll see. So this is what we have. This is our show for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I want to thank Macho Man Randy Savage. I hope you had a great Halloween. We'll be back. Oh, yeah!
Yeah!
And we have Rey Mysterio in the house. Again,
619, baby.
Follow us. 619, baby. Booyaka. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Roadbreak, YouTube, The Original Roadbreak, Twitter, OG Roadbreak. We love you all. Shout out to Ryan again.
You check in the video description. We'll have all the links to the social media and everything else, so it's real easy. Just go down there, follow us on all of our pages, and stay up to date with all of our videos. Stay up to date with
Rope. We're covering every single big pay-per-view, WWE, AEW, anything that you guys want. Just comment on the section below. Take care, guys. We'll be with you guys soon.
Adaaaaaaaa.